As part of LFA 2022, we unveiled 4 installations across London as part of Showroom Showcase. Now in its second year, this series sees 4 innovative paper installations by emerging architects and designers displayed in some of London's leading design showrooms. We caught up with each of the winning designers and showrooms to find out the stories behind the collaboration. Here, Jamie, G and Paul share the story of their collaboration.
Hi, I'm Paul. I'm the showroom manager for the Siemens London showroom. We do consultancy work for retailers, so all of the kitchen retailers within London and nationally we work with. I've been with the company about 18 months, so not too long, so I've been on the journey from the beginning, and I was really brought on board to help establish Siemens London as a showroom in Wigmore Street, which is really the sort of hub for kitchen retailers and kitchen designers.
So this is G Liu from WallaceLiu. We are a Camden-based architecture firm.
Hi, my name's Jamie Wallace and I'm also a director of WallaceLiu, and our project is called Lateral Flow. So yeah, our project is called Lateral Flow, and it uses this type of scientific paper that changes its color when a substance is applied to it. The most famous type of this paper is called the litmus test paper, and it's used in industry and medicine to measure the pH of a substance. But of course, over the last years, the words lateral flow have become synonymous with the tests that we've all had to undertake and that are based on the same fundamental principles. So the proposition we made was to explore this type of paper through the making of this installation, its aesthetic and tectonic qualities, the way a liquid moves through it, how it reveals invisible properties through the way it changes color and texture. And I guess fundamentally, it is about the shared experience and memory we all have of these tests and how this kind of paper impacted on all of our lives during the pandemic.
Jamie's done a wonderful introduction in terms of where the idea came from and the definition of lateral flow and how much it's influenced our lives during COVID. I was quite interested in how artistically we can provide an edge to it. So in that research process, it reminds me the process how paper reacted to the sort of chemical substance with a particular pH, and how quickly that was absorbed and evaporated as well as soaked on the paper, and reminds me of how Chinese ink react with paper. And somehow that's one of the most beautiful functions I think paper provides to us. So that then led me to think of some references, for example, this Korean artist called Kwon Young-woo and the so-called Dansakawa movement that happened during the 80s, where these was the pioneers who tested how paper was reacting to the traditional ink. Since the start of the idea, we've tested, but then somehow what was always missing was this motion, this kind of calmness and motion of watching the color develop on the paper and the natural result it would appear without too much of our manipulation in terms of just watching the process going. And we came up with the idea of using some sort of pendulum device which carries a tube of wet surface, and that would touch the paper. And as it touched the paper, the reaction would happen. And as the device moves away from the paper, it would temporarily allow it to just slowly descend into this image. And the motion of watching this device touching the paper and letting go is almost as if applying ink onto the paper. So this is a level of control and precision going on. But on the other hand, when it touches the paper and exactly how the color would generate and how it would grow within the paper carries a lot of unknown factors. And that's exactly what's exciting.
Yeah, I think I completely agree with what you just said, in this idea of it being a kind of resolution of engineering and aesthetics, to kind of bring those two things together, the technology or the engineering behind it with what it actually looks like. That's fundamentally what architecture is, and it's absolutely what Siemens are about as well.
I've been in retail a very long time, and I've been working with sort of luxury furniture manufacturers and all sorts of different things, from beautiful design to fantastic engineering companies. And the one thing I've learned over time is to actually get people to stop and look and think, and just to stop people, because everybody these days is in a rush and they're always running around frantically. And I always find just getting people to stop, whether it's just to stop and look at something, or to stop and have a coffee, or just to stop and think for a minute, it's a really healthy thing to do. And to have a reason to stop is the whole point, So to give people a reason to stop to see this installation is really interesting to me, because what's more interesting is that we're going to have some of the same people walking past this window every single day, in the morning and in the evening. And there's a really good chance it's going to be different every single time. So there's more reasons to stop every single day, just to stop and take it in, and to collaborate with these guys with the engineering aspects as well as the design and the art aspect to it is, for me, it's a really incredible collaboration. And bringing attention to our showroom is only going to bring attention to our brand. So for me, it's sort of a win-win. It gives me this fantastic point of interest that I'm going to enjoy every day, but hopefully everyone else will as well. And, behind the door is Siemens.
I don't think there's much more to add, really, from what Paul said. Siemens have given us just the entire freedom to do what we wanted with their window, which has been a great pleasure and is very unusual. So yeah, it's been very enjoyable, and I hope it makes people curious, and I hope that people find that it's beautiful and intriguing.
Thanks for listening to this conversation. If you've enjoyed the conversation and would like to listen to more like this, search for Building Sounds on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you find your favourite podcast.